This is a real exciting day for me, and probably the most excited I'll be all day, so take notes. We have the entire cast of The Evil Dead with us tonight, along with some of our crew guys, actually. Let me just have them all start coming out. We have our ladies of The Evil Dead. We got Betsy Baker, Ellen Sandweiss, and Sarah York. Here they are. Yeah. We got our makeup guru, Tom Sullivan, right there behind him. We have Rich DeManicore right there. Ted Raimi behind him. And this guy. Oh yeah, Bruce Campbell right there. All right, I'm just gonna throw it out to you guys in a sec. I got one question though for the group. Try to treat this as a serious event for at least 1 minute.
Please.
Time's up. And this is something I've never actually heard addressed before. Either before the film started shooting, or maybe during, or even after, did any of the actors sort of consider the relationships of all these characters before the story begins? I mean, were they like college friends? Were they?
Could you rephrase that?
Why is it?
What kind of horse shit are you talking about?
I'm just gonna turn my microphone off now. So yeah. Okay. All attempts at this as being a serious event have been thrown to hell.
Seriously.
The question was, just before we started filming, or anytime during the shooting, did we consider the relationships of the characters?
Right, because
Of
there's
the
obviously a fifth
actors?
wheel there, and
Right.
no, of the characters.
Excuse
I mean,
me,
yeah.
did I hear you say fifth wheel?
Yes.
You mean like who is the star and who?
No. I just mean.
I'm just talking about the
I mean, the actual
relationship of the
characters.
characters.
No, I think I can answer that. And with all due respect, no. No.
Can I
Actors
talk
don't
as
do
the
that
fifth
kind of
wheel
thing. No, I
though? The fifth wheel thing? How many of you in the audience knew that I was actually Ash's sister?
You
Okay,
get a
so
free
fifth-
DVD.
You were? Did a sister count as a fifth wheel?
Oh, that's right. We gave them all away last night. Sorry. None
Yeah,
of you can
we're
have
out of
free
them.
DVDs this morning.
What I've always wanted to know though is was Ash my younger or older brother? What do you think, Ash?
I think we were twins.
We were. Did he just make a face when he said that? Because I couldn't see.
No.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
laughing
Very
now.
respectful.
Okay, yeah.
Paternal.
All right. So, any questions that all of you have?
There's all.
We have one right here.
And when you ask your question, could you please stand up like in 7th grade? Yes, right here. Someone we had a question right there. Please stand up and share your question. Yes, don't look behind you. It's you. Yes, right there. Hello. Good afternoon. How are you?
Who are you? Where are you from?
And why are you here? Thank you for your question. Good night. You drove from Milwaukee.
All right, you drove
All right, look.
all the way to the.
All right, we'll speak more slowly.
Now that you guys had a chance to tour around and meet some of the fans of the movie, what's one of your more memorable experiences meeting some of the enthusiastic fans?
What is one of our more memorable experiences? Well, I have to tell you, just at a recent convention, we had a guy come up and he had his entire, no, it wasn't his arm, it was his entire leg.
His thigh.
Thigh.
The upper
and
portion?
I do mean upper thigh.
We saw a little more than we
I
wanted.
can do better than that. I can do better than that.
Wait a minute, Bruce.
Excuse me, Bruce.
No, sorry.
Bruce, I think the question was.
You know,
directed
I
to
don't
you
give a
ladies
shit.
to
I can do better than that. I was at a book signing, and a guy came up and he put an 8x10 photograph in front of me, and it was a very strange rendering of Army of Darkness. And I said, the poster from Army of Darkness. I said, why does that look strange? He said, because it's tattooed on my entire back.
Okay, so to finish our story,
Story.
this guy had us
He had
tattooed. Go
all
ahead,
three
Betsy.
ladies on his upper thigh, and so he had us sign it. He had us sign his thigh. La la la. So
We
then
had
the
fun.
next day we saw him at a.
Now wait a minute.
screening of-
You had to sign his thigh?
We had to sign his
That's an
thigh
interesting reason.
with a Sharpie.
No, he paid us a lot of money.
So the very next night we went to a
Don't worry,
screening
Ted, the
of Man
thigh's
with
the
Screaming
limit, so that's all right.
And he, during the day, had our signatures tattooed onto his thigh.
So he had our faces and our signatures.
Right up there.
And that's the end of that story. Next question. Yes, right there. Yes.
I know you
guys all get together for the reunion, and you probably do that at other times, but do you hang out or see each other if it's not anything to do with the movie?
No.
Never.
Would you?
With you guys, it'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
They're in room 506, 509, 511.
Actually, we all live in different places. There, a couple of us are in LA. I'm in Detroit. Bruce is in some bumfuck Oregon place. And
Ted is in a special center.
Ted's in LA, and
I'm in
He's in lockdown.
here.
we got some more
We're in
Michiganders here. But no, we really prefer not to see each other at all.
It's hard sitting here with them right now.
Anyway, any more questions? Yes.
Bruce is the biggest puss in Evil Dead. How come he's the only one?
Hey, come on, asshole. Come on up here right now. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on.
No, the bookshelf was real wood. It wasn't styrofoam.
And nobody else is. Any reason why?
So if I understand your question, why is Bruce the only one on the poster?
Could you rephrase your question in more insulting terms, please?
Yeah, there's people on the poster who aren't even. Well, yeah,
That's a good question.
Bruce was one of
Who
the
is that
producers of
chick?
the movie. Why did you make the poster without us and get some stupid woman off the street to pose instead of us?
Yeah, Bruce, why did you do that?
Okay, you can all shut your face, first of all. That stupid woman was Bridget Hoffman, a very sweet woman
Hello?
who answered our phone calls. I have no freaking idea why we didn't use
Bruce
you in the
was
poster.
sleeping with her, and that was pretty much why she was on the poster.
No.
So?
All right, someone must have.
Let's have
one.
another insightful question.
Way over there, against the wall. Stand up and shout.
We have a new question right there. No, you. Yeah.
You.
Did anybody get hurt during the film, he wants to know.
I believe the answer would be yes for all of us.
Yeah.
Do you want specifics?
Me, I was emotionally scarred.
She's.
Not was, is.
We pretty much all the proceeds from this convention go to her psychiatry
therapist.
bills. Yeah.
Let me
Yep.
give you a list. Remember when I was dragged out of the cabin? Yeah, that really hurt. You saw me. That was no little stunt double. Did you see when I got my head whacked off? Yeah, that really hurt. And how about when Sam and Bruce and Rob said, look, Betsy, it's not going to be a problem. Look, we're going to go get some styrofoam beams. You just pick them up at Sears. So I'm thinking styrofoam, at the beach with your beer in it. Well, that shouldn't be hard.
Styrofoam.
Yeah, styrofoam.
Cups.
Oh, no. That really hurt.
And Ellen, didn't you, during the branch rape scene, didn't you get a splinter in your
Branch
career?
rape? What branch rape scene?
The one, you
Splinter
know.
in her rear?
Do you guys remember a
Career.
branch rape scene? I got a few splinters. A little minor case of Dutch elm disease. Very, very minor. Okay, a few cuts, a lot of blood that was really my own.
But now she's branching out.
And now I'm branching out. Went out on a limb a little bit, but I'm okay.
Did the contact lenses injure anybody's eyes? I mean, any issues like that?
Yeah.
No,
I'm actually blind.
I think the contact lenses were just mostly annoying, but no permanent injuries.
good.
And
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah, it's okay, Tom. Tom Sullivan feels badly for us. He's been feeling badly for us ever since. He was kind of our protector.
He was our nurturer.
He's
Yeah.
a torturer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
and it
tortured,
Well,
then he nurtured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not injured in making the movie at all.
Oh,
No injuries at all.
Tell him about your ankle, Bruce.
No, I was not injured at all. Sorry, it was a very happy shoot, very short shoot, very comfortable shoot.
Didn't we
We
shoot
all
in
knew what we were
Miami?
doing. We got a lot done every day. Had no difficulties, no delays in production. We shot the movie in 4 days. It was an excellent experience.
We call
Excellent
him
question, too. Thank you very
delusional
much for that.
Bruce. Delusional
We
Bruce.
got a question right back there. Yes. Oh, well.
Will the Cabin DVD set include the Within the Woods short? He wants to know.
I believe that Bruce has a saying for that, if I may say it myself.
Please.
And this is not me talking, this is Bruce. I believe it's when monkeys fly out of my ass.
I've never said that, by the way.
Yes.
Never. I've never, ever said that. I would never be so rude to you, sir. I would answer directly and
I'm
honestly
quoting.
every time you asked a question.
It's probably
The answer
on
was
sale
the
in
seventh
next
of
room.
never.
We have
Was
a
the
question
was the
over
correct
here.
answer.
Go ahead, stand up.
Okay, when I first saw Evil Dead, I couldn't help but wonder. You can tell what the plan is here. You're all going to a cabin. You're there to party down. Why
Subtle.
did Ash bring his sister?
If we were going to the party if we're going to the cabin to party down, why did Ash bring his sister? That's what you want to know?
To sell her for beer money.
It's an excellent question, by the way.
You know, what?
I hope it doesn't reflect on his relationship with Linda.
Yeah, I think Linda was a little slow, if you know what I mean. And
You know,
maybe-
I think that I think that I was there to bring some class to the whole
Especially
operation.
the,
and
the
it
dress.
Didn't really
the
work.
designer babushka.
Yeah, well, that was my gypsy era.
Right. The Rhodas.
I don't know why the hell they brought Cheryl along. She was a bitch. She was, I don't know.
It's because Ashley,
No, we don't
she's
feel
your
bad.
little sister. Take her with you, or you don't get the car for the weekend.
I believe it was handy to have an extra person to kill and torment.
Yes, that too. Way over here at the end of the front row.
How much production time was involved in all the stop motion, he wants to know.
That was a solid 3 months. We took a day to set up a shot and then a day to shoot it. It was a day or two to set up a shot and then a day to shoot it. There were about a little over 30 shots that we did. And then there were a few extra pickup shots as well. But that was all done in the basement of Bart Pierce, who was a co-cameraman and co-animator. And it was one of the best collaborations I'd ever had. But amazing to watch that 2.5-minute sequence go by so quickly, and that's, big hunk.
The basement is now a museum in southern Michigan.
Coated with blood.
Yes. Right here, how about? Yes.
This might be kind of a sensitive question.
A sensitive question we
like
have.
that.
We like those.
We're sensitive people.
Since it was, I'm assuming, a non-union shoot,
Since it was a non-union shoot,
how do you guys handle residuals, et cetera, et cetera?
residuals. How did we handle
It's
residuals?
become a huge,
Yeah.
money-making
Yeah.
enterprise.
That's true,
It's a
isn't
good
it?
question.
For some people, and does it trickle down to you?
Does it trickle down to
Trickle
us?
down. Did I hear
That's
the word
Did I hear the
residuals?
trickle down theory?
Well, we're going to do trickle-down
Yes.
economics.
No, that's
believe it,
another.
Well,
Yeah, all the money coming in.
we're
What
doing
money?
the best we
Who wants
I
can.
don't
to
have
answer
any money.
this?
I don't recall
I don't recall not receiving or recalling money.
a check.
Residuals.
Yeah, that was
Residuals
one of
would have
the
been
the
a
best
nice
questions.
thing. Yeah, residuals. Basically, we didn't make any money off of this movie, and there were no residuals. But I don't know, Bruce, would you like to answer that?
Well, before he does, just to fill you guys in, for those of you who don't know, residual check, in case you don't know, is every time a movie is shown, theoretically, an actor gets a check. Now, this money goes down exponentially, so it may start as your first showing is, say, a couple $100. Eventually, by the time it, gets to effects and then to, loser bounce cable in, Romania, you're receiving about 0.001 cents for that. And I've gotten checks, I think we all have, for 0.0 money. In fact, there's a bar in Los Angeles called Residuals. If you bring in a check for under $1,
Yeah.
they'll give you like a Meisterbrow beer, and you can go cry in your beer. And in that bar, you'll see, you walk in there, it's incredibly depressing. Fun if you're not an actor, but alarmingly cold water on your face if you are, because you walk in there and you see guys like, oh, look, that guy he was like the third bad guy in Charlie's Angels, wasn't he? And you see another guy, that guy was on Knight Rider. And I'm not talking about like the 2000 remake. This is like 1981 people they're going, man, I was so good when Hasselhoff gave me that line and no one ever called me back. So these are residual checks, and we actors get dang few little of them. Sorry, Bruce. Go ahead.
Sir, I'll also answer your question a little more specifically. It's a thing called a contract that actors sign. And they can either sign it or don't. And once they sign the contract, it's a written binding agreement. And we're happy to stick by that written binding agreement and even accept extra money on top of that after the fact. So I hope that answers your question, sir. Thank you very much.
So let me answer the question. The ladies, we never heard of the word residuals and that trickle down thing. No.
We were 20 years old,
We were-
all right? I was 20
Well-
years old. Give us a break.
Yeah.
We didn't know
We
what
did
we
it
were
for the
saying.
experience,
I was
the love
young.
of the genre, because of our respect of Sam and Bruce and Rob.
We made up for it in providing a fun, exhilarating shoot. A short, professional shoot that was
All right.
very comfortable, excellent working conditions.
Man in the red shirt.
I did my own stunts, yes. The flipping thing, you're referring to Evil Dead Part 2 now. I don't believe I flipped in Part 1.
Do cartwheels.
Was that an off-the-cuff sort of thing that I just flipped myself? Because I just feel like, Sam, I feel like flipping myself in this shot. What do you think? Yeah, try it, man. Try it. Go for it. No, I was instructed by Sam to flip myself because he says, I know you can flip yourself, so fucking flip yourself. And you'll do it as many times as I tell you to do it. Sam and I used to do piss-poor acrobatic tricks in an act we had called the Bonzoid Sisters for talent shows in high school. And so we both could do that, and he knew I could do that. And it was I'm sad to this day that he knew I could do that.
I can vouch for the fact, because I went to high school with Bruce, and I would walk down the hall with him. We would just be walking, and all of a sudden he'd do a flip, land on his back, throw all his books in the air, and I was always his best audience.
I was having an epileptic seizure, and she was making fun of it. So I'm a little upset by that, actually. Thank you, Ellen.
Over here with the baseball cap. That's what it is.
Please stand up and share your question for the whole class. Why did you change your name? Why did you change your name?
What?
Why
Your
did you
name
change?
is in
Come
hell?
on, why'd you change your name?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I understand the question, okay. At the time, I was in the Screen Actors Guild. This gentleman referred to the union. I was in the Screen Actors Guild, but however, I was pulling myself out of the business because I wanted to have a house and I wanted to eat once in a while, like kind of on a regular basis. So I was sort of pulling myself out of the business. And I was invited to audition, and I turned them down. I didn't want to audition. I was done. And about a month later, I went back and did it, and unfortunately got the part. So to not make the union mad, I just changed my name.
Which made them
That's
mad.
all. And then
Which
when
made them even more mad.
And then when my good buddy Teresa went in and said, "Hey, we made this movie and I had to change my name, but I don't want to get in trouble or anything," that's when they called me up and said, "Hey, you're busted. Come over here." And I had to sit and talk to the union for a while.
Yes, right here.
Yeah, I was wondering, how exactly did you find all these actors?
Who are you referring to, sir? Who are you directing your question to?
The ones that you didn't know personally, like
How did we find these actors?
On the street, they were just...
How did you discover
Ellen,
this talent?
Ellen, both Sam and I knew from high school, so Ellen was a shoo-in. We knew we were going to use her. Betsy and Teresa, we auditioned. We through local talent agencies, and same with Rich/Hal. Yes, we found them. We found them by placing ads, and why? Where did you think we found them? Random people on the street. No, sir, sorry, you're wrong.
This gentleman with the camera.
Yes, first of all, Betsy Baker, you're the most beautiful woman in cinema.
Betsy Baker, you're the most beautiful woman in cinema.
That's my boy.
This question for the whole cast. What is your most, or I should say, what is the most horrible thing that Sam ever did to you?
What's the most horrible thing that Sam ever did to you?
Why don't we start with you, Ellen?
Well, I don't think Sam did anything horrible to me. It's what he made me do that was horrible, and I think we all know what that was. So let's not even discuss it.
We did have what we called the latex point on the shoot, where every actor at some point would basically freak out and melt down because they've been in makeup too much. They've been in latex makeup too long. So look, it was a 12-week shoot. You don't shoot low-budget movies for 12 weeks. You shoot low-budget movies for 5 days. So we shot for 12 weeks and basically damaged mentally or otherwise every crew member, every cast member, every piece of equipment we ever rented. When we got back to Detroit, they said, you are not renting from us any more equipment. We destroyed a white pickup truck during the course of the shoot, the one that I would ride in the back of covered with blood because they wouldn't let me sit in the front seat. We ruined cameras, camera cables, we hurt actors, we shoved basically white contact lenses in their eyes that should only be in for 15 minutes at a time, only 5 times a day. We would put these things in their face and they'd be wearing them for an hour at a time, 10 times a day. That's a lot, do the math. So, you know, this was a nightmare shoot for everybody, and it took about 3 months for people to start talking to each other again after the initial shoot.
So do you blame Sam for having glasses now, or backache problems?
I don't blame Sam Raimi for anything. We were all there happily, willingly. None of us had any idea what we were getting into. It's very simple. And as a result, by putting in that torment for 12 weeks, I think it reflects on the movie, and the movie has a certain sort of docu-horror quality to it that you can smell from oozing from the pores of the movie is the difficulty in shooting it.
We've got a man right in the back with a baseball cap. Yeah.
Yes, but you never figured that your wildest dreams that you'd ever be like on a t-shirt.
Did you ever figure you'd be in a t-shirt in your wildest dreams?
Or a lunchbox.
Lunchbox. Never in our wildest dreams.
Ellen used to
ever,
pray at
ever.
night that her face could be, her distorted, disfigured face could be on a lunchbox. Didn't you, Ellen? Didn't you tell me that once?
It's a girl's wildest dream.
Yep.
This lady right here.
How was the moonshine in Tennessee?
Dude, it's darn good, man. Tell you what, it's pretty damn good. I remember I was only 14 and only there briefly. I was supposed to be there for 3 days, but because they were lacking 6 crew members, I was there for 2 weeks, and I had to go back to junior high school, and they wouldn't let me. But there was a guy named Dale who's no longer with us, but Dale worked on the picture briefly. I think so, wasn't he? Oh shoot, that's Evil Dead 2. Never mind. I'm having it's because of all that moonshine. I do remember having a sip of it though when I was 14, and I remember passing out and wishing I was anywhere else but there.
It's the nastiest stuff that but it's a quick drunk. I mean, you know, if that's what.
And we were shooting in the Bible Belt, so we didn't have a lot of options, and we couldn't buy alcohol anywhere, so we were happy to have a little moonshine.
There's a way to test moonshine, for those of you who are interested. Pour it into a mason jar cup, the lid, and light it on fire. And if it's a soft blue flame, it's good. If it turns orange, it's been distilled in a car radiator. So they recommend not to do that. You can also shake it up, and if little bubbles float to the surface, tiny bubbles, no troubles, is what they say.
Okay.
It used to bead up. If you poured it into a styrofoam cup, it would bead up around the cup, and the cup would start to melt in on itself. And we would use it in between shots to throw onto the fire when we stopped drinking it, when we realized it was bad for every part of our body. We would throw it on the fire just before we started filming. So in scenes where the fire is looking particularly good, it means it's been, given a burst of moonshine before we shot.
All right, the woman in the maroon shirt.
A lot of us have children. What do your children think of being cult movie icons?
Well, my daughter thinks it's kind of odd when she hears me on the phone talking to either one of them saying, well, do you think we should bring the shot where I'm chewing off my hand? It's just kind of an odd thing, but she's never really seen the movie.
Yeah, and I have a teenage girl and a teenage boy, and my son really could care less. He actually just, whenever I go to a city, to a convention, hopes that I'll pick him up either, like a Cubs t-shirt or a Bulls t-shirt. That's the primary excitement for him.
My kids and their friends think that they have the coolest mom in the high school,
No.
All right. All right.
frankly.
Right over here in the second row.
How did we find the cabin itself, the cabin proper?
Take
Take
I-75.
Yeah. You know what? There was a local guy named Gary Holt. Gary, quote, "Here's the deal I worked out, Holt." He led us to it eventually. We looked at a number of places. We actually had a cabin for a while, and then it fell out. And so at the last minute, we found this other cabin. And it was a real race to the finish to get it ready in time because there was 4 inches of cow manure throughout the entire cabin because the cows had free range of it. So when we got it, we had to tear out walls and ceilings. There was no electricity to the cabin. There was no trap door. There was nothing like that. So we had to customize it. We added windows, porches, old swings, a work shed to one side.
No plumbing, no heat.
No plumbing, no heating. There was jack shit going on with that cabin. And the driveway was about a quarter mile straight down that became a hell march once it started raining. And it was the coldest winter on record in Tennessee that winter, and one of the warmest in Michigan. We left Michigan because we were afraid it was going to be cold. So it was a good decision on everyone's part.
Yes, the man with the glasses, yes. Mhm.
Who's asking that? Please stand up, sir. When and where was what? First convention.
For all of us together?
The Anchor Bay.
Anchor Bay, when they learned about the 3 of us, because we had sort of remained in the shadows.
Hiding.
For 20 years. We just didn't know that it was so well liked. But we came out in 3 years ago?
Yeah, 2002.
And we all met in Detroit for the first time since the movie had been shot. And they sold out, I don't know, 4 shows of the movie in the Royal Oak Theater.
That was a reunion of sorts, but of course, Bruce and Ted had been going to conventions for a while, and we didn't really know what it was all about at all. And then we thought, we could start doing this convention thing.
Conventions. What
So the 3
should
of us
we
just
do?
started about 2 or 3 years ago.
Was yours, Bruce's, or Sam's? You talked about a time capsule you buried that you were going to dig
The
up.
time capsule is still there. No one has found it, even though I have signed several bricks from the fireplace because people have gone back, found the cabin, which incidentally is a bad idea, trying to find the cabin. Can I just say that for any of you treasure hunters? You will get your ass full of buckshot if you go back there. It's on private property. They don't want you there. They don't think it's cute. They don't think it's funny. They're tired of freaks trying to find the cabin. All right? Let me just say that.
Guys, we got time for 2 more questions. Make them good.
More. All right, this man's had his hand up a bunch.
Thank you. This is more of a question.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. I have photographs of the cabin from someone who went to the cabin. We have.
Do we have her shot up with buckshot?
Yes, I have a photograph of her ass full of buckshot right here. Someone has posed in front of the fireplace, which is the only remaining thing because several years after we filmed, the cabin burned down because squatters took over the cabin after we left and were lighting fires in the main room, not in the fireplace, oddly enough, but on the floor of the main cabin, which happened to be wood. So big surprise that it burned down. But they probably didn't have any moonshine in them at all. Very nice photographs. Thank you very much.
Okay, so on with the question.
This is more of a question for Bruce.
Yes, sir.
The movie took like 4 years to make.
The movie took 4 years to make.
Was there ever a point where you and Rob and Sam were just sitting around like, this has been 2.5 years. What are we doing with this? You were just like ready to drop it all?
We weren't ready to drop anything, no matter how long the film took, because we were obliged to investors. You know, we had legal binding documents that we signed. There's an impression that this movie was an amateur production. It was a college production. Nothing could be further from the truth. We certainly didn't know what we were doing, but we signed a bunch of contracts with investors. Every investor had a contract, and they put their money in fully expecting to get it back. So it didn't matter if we were 1 year in, 2 years in, 3 years in. we in fact had to get their money back, so we had to keep going. So for 4 years, that was all we could do, was we would wait, sometimes get more money, shoot a little more, get more money, and continue on.
One last
There's
question.
a young gentleman in the back row here. Yep, you.
You are essentially the main character in like the first half of the movie, but then like during the second half you die off. How do you feel about that?
How do you feel that you died off in the second half of the movie, but were prominent in the first?
You were kind of disappointed, you know? I think that I got to do so much during the first half that, spending a little cellar time, I think, was actually a little relaxing. And, no, I was fine with that.
But she was the first monster, technically, so that kind of, what else is she going to do? Is she going to come back and say, I'm all right now? She already pulled that once. She tried to get back in the movie, you saw.
But instead you gave that line to somebody who
Everything's
could
all
deliver it
right
a little
now.
better.
Yes.
Right.
And you got some of the best quotes in the movie, too.
Oh, yeah, what's your favorite?
Is your sister showing?
That is a good one, yeah.
Guys, they're all going to be all over this building signing whatever you put in front of them. Bruce is downstairs signing books, and everybody else is in the main dealer room. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Evil Dead.